Okay, part 2. I'm going through these 3 documents, which are the COVID-19 information releases from the U.S. Embassy in Ireland. So I've highlighted some of the stuff I'm going to go over and underlined sections. So starting with the COVID-19 information release on the, I accessed this the 22nd of November 2020 and printed it and saved it and that kind of thing. So the entry and exit requirements, I'm going to go over the pieces I highlighted. Are U.S. citizens permitted to enter? Yes. Is a negative COVID-19 test, PCR and or serology required for entry? No. Movement restrictions. Is a curfew in place? No. Are there restrictions on intercity or interstate travel? Yes. On September 15, the government of Ireland announced its 5-level plan for living with COVID-19 over the next 6 months. The plan sets out 5 different levels of restrictions that can be put in place across different counties depending on the level of COVID-19 in each area. The government of Ireland has placed the entire country on level 5 for a period of 6 weeks, effective at midnight on Wednesday, October 21. The level 5 restrictions will remain in effect through Tuesday, December 1. Level 5 restricts domestic travel to within 5 kilometers of one's home, with exceptions only for essential work, medical appointments, shopping for food, and other limited circumstances. Visits to one's home or outdoor garden by members of another household are prohibited. Additional level 5 restrictions include hotels, guest houses, and B&Bs can provide services only to persons who are guests of those hotels or similar accommodation on the 21st day of October 2020 until the date of their departure. Gyms, leisure centers, and swimming pools are closed. All non-essential retail and personal services must close. Public transport will be operating at 25% capacity and restricted to those providing essential services. Schools transport is unaffected. Quarantine information. Are U.S. citizens required to quarantine? No. Ireland does not mandate a quarantine based on nationality. Any traveler arriving to Ireland from the United States is requested to self-isolate for 14 days on arrival and is required to complete a COVID-19 passenger located form indicating they will self-isolate. COVID-19 testing. At this point in time, so this is the 22nd of November 2020 when I accessed this, the COVID-19 testing was just one bullet point. Transportation options. Are commercial flights operating? Yes. So those are the questions and information I've been looking at as if U.S. citizens aren't permitted to enter, I'm not going. If commercial flights aren't operating, I'm not going. Is a negative test required? Well, then what does that mean? That kind of stuff. And then the other really big one, or 2 other really big ones. One is the self-isolation. So if I have to self-isolate for 14 days when I get to Ireland, and my trip is only like 22 days long, 24 days long, however long it ends up being, 17 days long. 14 days spent inside of one location is not going to be the trip that I am looking for. And so I need to postpone my trip. And then, even though we're not required to quarantine, if we're requested to, which they're requesting to, I choose to respect that request. And then, are there restrictions on intercity or interstate travel? So when this is domestic travel, residents of Ireland are restricted to traveling within 5 kilometers, so that's like 3.1 miles approximately of their house. I should not be going to Ireland and driving around it to see the sights. Like, that's just the personal standard, like, no. So that's I would like to see, my goal is to drive around Ireland, including the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, so I'm not going to see a 3.1 mile radius, and that's domestic travel. So that was the 22nd of November 2020 when the press release I collected at that point. This is the press release from the 17th of December, 2020. Entry and exit requirements. Are U.S. citizens permitted to enter? Yes, it's still yes. Is a negative COVID-19 test, PCR and or serology required for entry? No, still no. Movement restrictions. Is a curfew in place? No. Are there restrictions on intercity or interstate travel? No. So that's actually a change from this last one. And so this one from November 22nd, 2020, it is Ireland is on level 5 restrictions, and there is restrictions in interstate. That's the 5-kilometer restriction, or approximately 3.1 mile restriction. By December 17th, 2020, those restrictions on intercity and interstate travel are no more, and they're on what is called level 3. So effective December 1, the government of Ireland has placed the entire country on level 3 through Thursday. Effective December 18, the government of Ireland has amended the restrictions under level 3. You can receive visitors to your home from 2 other households, and you can travel freely throughout the Republic of Ireland. The government of Ireland is also recommending that people wear face masks where there is heavier foot traffic or crowds. Quarantine information. Are U.S. citizens required to quarantine? No. Ireland does not mandate a quarantine based on nationality. Any traveler arriving to Ireland from the United States is requested to self-isolate for 14 days on arrival and is required to complete a COVID-19 passenger locator form indicating they will self-isolate. So, oh, wait, one more. Transportation options. Are commercial flights operating? Yes. So on both of these, you're still required to, fill out a form where you're going to isolate. So you can, it's requested, but it's really kind of, in a way, required. And then, so that was December. So things got better. They were on level 5, which is stricter in November. In December, that was kind of alleviated to level 3. And then January 30th, 2021, it's even stricter than the level 5 before. So, entry and exit requirements. Are U.S. citizens permitted to enter? Yes. Is a negative COVID-19 test, PCR and or serology required for entry? Yes. So this is a change. This is far stricter than it was before. You are now required to have a negative COVID-19 test to even enter the country. And COVID-19 testing, so before on these past 2 press releases, COVID-19 testing was only 1 bullet point. All of these bullet points and steps for COVID-19 testing and stuff, that is all now COVID-19 testing. And so the one two that I'm going to cover are tests reliably available within 72 hours. Yes. If it's anything like it is here in Washington State, those lines are extremely long. So there's a chance that I could go get like a test or something and not get it in the right amount of time. And then the cost for a COVID-19 test through commercial suppliers typically range from 100 to 150 euros. I think that's the euro sign, or it's Great British pounds. Northern Ireland and Ireland have different currencies. So that's approximately $150 to $200. I don't have $200 for one test. And that's just in Ireland, right? I need that, so $400 between. It's a lot. So I postpone trip, right? Keep postponing. And then, anyway, I haven't scheduled everything yet. I'm purposefully waiting till this kind of blows over. COVID-19 vaccine information. So this was not on the previous 2 releases. This is now in here, and it has the government of Ireland approved a COVID-19 vaccine for use? And it says yes. So those are the first categories. Then we're on to movement restrictions. Is a curfew in place? No. Are there restrictions on intercity or interstate travel? We are back up to a yes. So these, again, restricted movements back to November levels. Effective December 30th, the government of Ireland has placed the entire country on level 5 of its Living with COVID-19 plan through March 5, 2021. The government of Ireland is restricting travel within Ireland to within 5 kilometers, so approximately 3.1 miles, of one's home for the duration of the level 5 lockdown, with limited exceptions for essential purposes. Non-essential international travel is a breach of level 5 rules. So strict. It's super strict right now. Quarantine informations. Are U.S. citizens required to quarantine? No. Ireland does not mandate a quarantine based on nationality. Any traveler arriving to Ireland from the United States is strongly advised to self-isolate for 14 days on arrival and is required to complete a COVID-19 passenger locator form indicating will they will self-isolate. Transportation options. Are commercial flights operating? Yes. But is it time for me to go? No. Postpone. And so that was just what I wanted to include, because I thought the kind of development events where Washington State now is diverging from Ireland, I found kind of interesting that they're going in different directions. Washington State is getting looser on its rules, and the Republic of Ireland, is getting even stricter as of January 2021 in regards to COVID-19 travel restrictions. Oh, actually, I don't know if it's travel restrictions. There's other intrastate restrictions with COVID-19 that Washington State is loosening up on. But yeah, so I thought those interesting divergence for the first time in how the two locations are handling COVID-19.